What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the best poison monk build in Path of Exile 2. If you are looking for this build on the website, then click my link in this video's description or the pinned comment. So this is a very unique build where we are going to be making a poison setup by using the monk class. And the main reason for this is one of his Ascendancy nodes called the Reality Rending. This will apply to our gas arrow cloud and do massive extra damage as chaos, which then increases our poison damage. Also, this effect has the added benefit of making any elemental damage you gain from the bow, quiver and the rings also apply, at least partially to your poison. So in short, our gameplay is revolved around using the bow to shoot gas arrows that quickly expand, poisoning all enemies they come in contact with. And besides all of these buffs that we have working in the background and stacking our poison damage extremely high, we will also use Plague Barrier once we have enough collected poison to do massive amounts of damage. So let me show you the build, and for the main class we are going with the monk and our ascendancy is Acolyte of Chayula. Then for the first skill we have Into the Breach with Clarity, Cannibalism, Precision, Herbalism and Vitality. Then second we got the Gas Arrow with Martial Tempo, Heft, Deadly Poison, Concentrated Effect and Execute. Then next we got Vine Arrow with Scattershot, Swift Affliction, Momentum, Fawn of Rage and Comorbidity. Next we have Plague Barrier with Physical Mastery, Chaos Mastery, Magnified Effect, Astral Projection and Unbreakable. Next we got Despair with the Heightened Curse, Focus Curse and Persistence. Next we got Herald of the Plague with no support gems. Next we got the Ghost Dance with Fast Forward. Then next we got the Eye of Winter with the Withering Touch, Unleash, Arcane Tempo and the Pierce. Next we have Wind Dancer with the Blind, Maim and Pin. And finally we're using the Blink with Ingenuity. Most of this setup is structured around using the gas and vine arrows to delete enemies in split seconds. So we use gems and skills that will support and increase their duration and damage, while the rest are powerful buffs and utility skills that usually get activated in the background. Next we also have leveling build in case if you are starting your journey from level 0 and you want to use it up until about level 25. So first off we have the lightning arrow with the martial tempo and the lightning infusion. Then next we have the Lightning Rod with a Scatter Shot and Magnified Effect. Next we got the Flame Wall with a Spell Cascade. And finally we are using the Herald of the Thunder with no support gems. Next up we have our passive tree, and if you're interested in a full in-depth guide on how it works, then check out my beginner guide. So let's take a look at our setup, and we want to start at the skill speed node. And then go like this while taking these 4, so Flow like Water, Mindful Awareness, Step like Mist and the Flow state. Then next we keep on going until the Killer Instincts, and then afterwards go to the right and get these 2, so the Kite Runner and the Legion Toxins. Then from here we want to circle back all the way until this point, and then go down here until we get to these 2, so Crippling Toxins and the Master Fletching. And then from here you want to go all the way right here and then get these nodes. And only when you got them, then now from this point and onwards, you can unlock the rest of the nodes in whatever order you prefer. All of these nodes that we got are very useful, but the ones I mentioned have the top priority, as they're the most important ones to acquire early on in the game, to make our build functional, and then later on, the priority doesn't really matter that much. Also, as far as attributes go, you just simply won't fulfill your attribute requirements for gear and gems, and then after that spend the rest in dexterity. And then on top of this, all of our build is also improved by our specific jewels that we use. So for the top 3 options we have increased damage with the bow, then second we have increased global physical damage, and then finally we want increased evasion rating. And then now let's go all the way to the middle again, and for Ascendancy build, this is what we have. So at the beginning you want to unlock Reality Rending, as this is one of the biggest reasons and the cornerstones of our build. This will apply to our Gas Arrow Cloud and do massive extra damage as chaos, which then increases our poison damage. Also, this effect has the added benefit of making any elemental damage you gain from the bow, quiver and the rings also apply, at least partially to your poison. Then second we want the Waking Dream. This is yet another big part of our build. This ability will allow you to see the flames of Chayula. These flames will grant you bonuses based on their color. So purple is the main one, and it will grant 7% damage gained as chaos for 5 seconds, which can stack up to 10 times. However, the best part is that the Waking Dream will grant us Clarity, Cannibalism, Precision, Herbalism and Vitality, all for free, by just simply having them linked. Then next we get the Lucid Dreaming. This will double all of our effects and durations of the flames of the Chayula. and grant 14% damage gained as chaos. And then finally we want the Chayula's gift. This will give us twice as much chaos resistance. It might not sound like much, but when you think about it and understand that the easier you cap your resistances, the more slots and bonus stats you get, the more increased toward damage you can do even further. So feel free to use the exact same path as we have right here, and don't forget to check this video's description to find the link for this website, and this should make it easier for you to follow the path. Next up we have our Atlas passives, and the general idea behind this is to aim for bonus passives that spawn a lot of grouped up monsters, like in expeditions or in rituals. So when we start, we wanna first of all go to the right side and get all of these nodes, and then keep going down until you get to the keystone called the Deadly Evolution. Then second, we now want to go up to here and then get the second keystone called the Unstable Energies. And then only from this point and onwards, you can unlock the rest of the nodes in whatever order you want. But then on top of this, we also have our sub-passives, and their order in which you unlock them doesn't really matter, so this time it's up to you. And this is how it should look like for the ritual. Then next we have Delirium. Then third we have the bosses. Then on top of that we have the pinnacle bosses. Then next we also have our expedition setup, and then finally our breach setup. Next up we have our gear. The weapon of our choice is the advanced dual string bow with firing an additional arrow. And for bonus stats we want increased and adds more physical damage, more accuracy, increased attack speed, more levels to all projectile skills, and fires one more additional arrow. Then also we are using the offhand called the Volant Quiver with increased arrow speed. And for bonus stats we got adds physical and lightning damage, increased damage with the bow skills, more levels to projectile skills, increased attack speed, and more to dexterity. Then for helmet we have advanced chain tiara with energy shield. And for more we got even more max and increased energy shield, max mana, as well as cold and fire resistance. Then for chest we have the expert scalper's jacket with evasion and energy shield, as well as small movement speed. And for more we want max life, max energy shield, more evasion and dexterity. Then for the belt we have utility belt with 20% faster flask recovery. And for more we got max life, max mana, as well as cold and fire resistance. Then for gloves we got the snake bite with evasion. These are not required but are relatively cheap to get, but no matter what you get you want as much evasion as possible, with life regen or more resistance. Then for boots we're using the expert feather sandals with energy shield, and for more we need increased movement speed, max energy shield, more to intelligence, as well as lightning and chaos resistance. Then for first ring we got the breach ring with adds to physical damage to attacks, more evasion, max life, and more to dexterity and intelligence. While for the second one we have the unsent ring with one additional skill slot. And for more we need max life, max mana, more to all attributes, and also dexterity. And then finally for amulet we have the Jade amulet with more to dexterity, max energy shield, then increased energy shield, and more to spirit. No matter which gear you choose, just at least try to get 75% resistance cap on all 4 elements. This is the best setup, which would be more of an example of what stats and prefixes to look for. Then next we have runes. During early item progression, most gear will be sacred with resistant runes. However, once your elemental resistances have been capped and resistant runes are no longer necessary, then you want to opt in to increase your maximum life with body runes or consider sacting a soul core. So right now on my weapon, helmet, and the chest I'm using the iron rune, while on the gloves and boots I'm rocking with the glacial rune. Then on top of this, we need quickly look into the charms. Charms are incredibly useful, as by having the right one equipped at the right time can save you from dying. If you are struggling with certain bosses, then look into what damage type they're using, and then use that specific charm to increase your resistance. For me personally, I like to use the Taving charm for when we become frozen. Then second, get the Stone charm for stuns, and finally get the Amethyst charm for chaos damage. But as I said, which one you choose will entirely depend on the enemies that you are fighting, so feel free to experiment and mix and match. And now finally, let's quickly take a look at how this build will work. So first up we have AoE farming, and for this one we simply want to use the gas arrow to stack the plague barrier and then activate it for massive amounts of damage. And then for single targets we want to first of all look out for any purple flames. These will give you damage gained as chaos, which is especially nice if the boss performs few animations before attacking. So then right before the target spawns we want to use the gas arrow few times to pre-stack. So then when we have built up our plague barrier stacks, then we want to set it up by using the Despair and Eye of Winter. Then use Vine Arrow once, and then right after use the plague barrier to activate the skill for massive amounts of damage. So let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't wanna miss my top 3 best poison builds video, where I showed even more powerful builds, so click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.